Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news. So here's something that's been buzzing around the NFL circles lately, and it's got Steelers fans sitting up and paying close attention. Rumors are swirling that the Denver Broncos might be open to trading Patrick Surtain, the Pro Bowl cornerback who's just 25 years old and already making waves as one of the best in the league. Now I know what you're thinking. Why would the Broncos even consider trading a player of Surtain's caliber? Well, it's all about the bigger picture for Denver. They're in a bit of a rebuild mode, especially after starting the season 7-2, but then hitting some turbulence. They're trying to shake things up, free up cap space, and rebuild the offense, which is a bit shaky right now. Their cap situation is tight, with only about $5 million left, and they're eyeing a rebuild similar to what the Jets are doing this year. They're looking for picks to bolster their offensive line. After all, they've surrendered 37 sacks so far, and weigh heavily on acquiring future assets to set the foundation for a more sustained success. Now, what's really interesting is the potential swap that's being discussed. The Steelers, sitting at 5-3 and trying to tighten up their secondary after losing Trice to injury, could be the perfect landing spot for Surtain. Reports suggest that the Broncos are asking for a first-round pick in the 2026 draft and a fifth-round pick in 2027 in exchange for Surtain. And that would give Denver around $15 million in cap space, which they could use to improve their offensive line and other areas. It's a classic case of a team trading from strength to build elsewhere, and Pittsburgh might be the perfect fit given their need to stabilize their secondary and push for the postseason. Let's talk about Surtain's elite skills because honestly, he's one of the best in the league at coverage. His PFF grade for 2025 stands at an impressive 89.5, making him the second-best cornerback in the NFL this season. When you watch him on tape, it's clear how disruptive he is. He's got a knack for blanketing receivers, forcing turnovers, and making game-changing plays. His 4 interceptions this year alone, combined with a mere 0. 53 yards per cover snap and a 7% interception rate, the second highest in the NFL, highlight how dangerous he is for opposing offenses. Not only that, but he's rarely beaten deep, with just 6 explosive plays allowed all season, which is about a 1% rate. That kind of consistency is rare, especially for a guy who's only 25 and still has a lot of prime years ahead of him. Talking about his career stats, Surtain has a career coverage grade of 87. And in 2025, he's been targeted 52 times, giving up only 43 receptions. What really sets him apart is how he performs against top-tier receivers. His grades are about 1.5 points higher versus elite WRs, and he's someone you can trust to shut down the best the league throws at him. Plus, he's not just a shutdown corner, he's also a playmaker. Remember that viral pick 6 he was involved in? That's the kind of impact he can have on a game. His presence would elevate the Steelers' secondary from middle of the pack to one of the league's best, especially with Minkah Fitzpatrick roaming the back end and leading a defense that's already been showing flashes of dominance. Now, the Broncos aren't just making this move for fun. They're in a tough spot cap-wise, especially with Nix, their quarterback, having a grade of 76.8 under pressure. They need to invest in their offensive line because, as of now, they've given up 37 sacks, which is way too many for a team with playoff ambitions. The idea is to acquire picks now and rebuild the OL, similar to what the Jets did last year, focusing on young talent, drafting well, and creating a more balanced team. It's a classic rebuild strategy. Trade away some assets, accumulate picks, and develop a stronger, more resilient squad. For the Steelers, this potential trade could be a game-changer. Their secondary has been a bit inconsistent lately, especially after losing Trice. Adding a player like Surtain would give them a true lockdown corner, someone who can neutralize the top receivers in the league and take pressure off their safeties and other defensive backs. It's not just about stopping the pass. It's about transforming the entire defense into a top-5 unit. With Minkah Fitzpatrick anchoring the back end, the Steelers could become even more formidable, forcing more turnovers and creating scoring opportunities. Statistically, analysts are projecting an increase of about 15 interceptions for Pittsburgh if they land Surtain. That's a huge boost, Imagine the impact on field position and the overall confidence of the defense. Also, their yards allowed per game would drop from around 215 to closer to 170, which is a significant improvement. What's really exciting is how this could shift the dynamic in the AFC North. The Steelers, already sitting at 5-3 and fighting for a playoff spot, could see their odds jump significantly. Some reports suggest an increase of plus 1,500 to plus 700 in their betting odds to win the division or make a deep playoff run. The addition of a player of Surtain's caliber is like injecting elite talent right into their secondary. It would give them a true X-factor against pass-heavy teams like the Bills, who rely heavily on their aerial attack. This move could elevate Pittsburgh's chances in the postseason, especially as they look to solidify their defense and create more turnovers. Let's not forget, though, that any trade like this involves a bit of a gamble. The Broncos would be giving up a cornerstone player, and there's always a risk that the new environment might not be the right fit. But given their current rebuild mode and the need to recoup draft capital, it makes sense. For the Steelers, it's about seizing the opportunity, adding a player who can immediately elevate the secondary and help them compete at the highest level. It's a classic case of a dynamic shift in the AFC, and Pittsburgh fans should be excited about the potential of adding such a game-changing talent to their roster. This situation also reminds us how competitive and unpredictable the NFL can be. Teams are constantly adjusting, trying to find that edge, and the Steelers are no strangers to making bold moves. With Mike Tomlin leading the charge and a roster that's been growing stronger, adding a player like Surtain could be just what they need to push over the top and contend for another Super Bowl. The AFC North is shaping up to be one of the most exciting divisions in recent memory, especially if these rumors turn into reality. And of course, the ripple effects go beyond just the Steelers and Broncos. Imagine how a move like this impacts the entire playoff picture: more turnovers, tighter coverage, and more unpredictability. It's a chess game, and the Steelers are definitely players to watch. As the trade deadline approaches, everyone's keeping an eye on Denver's moves, and if this deal goes through, it could be one of the biggest surprises of the season. For Steelers fans, it's a reason to stay hopeful and optimistic. Adding a player of Surtain's talent is not just a short-term fix. It's a statement that Pittsburgh is serious about competing at the highest level and building a team that can challenge for another Lombardi. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, the Steelers have a lot to consider. They're in a good position now, sitting at 5-3, but the secondary has been a bit of a roller coaster. They've shown flashes of brilliance, especially with Minkah Fitzpatrick leading the way, but consistency has been an issue. Adding Surtain would immediately provide stability and elite coverage, making it much easier for the pass rush to get after the quarterback. It's a move that could not only improve their defense, but also send a message that Pittsburgh is all in on making a deep playoff run this year. As they look to tighten their grip on the division and make some noise in January, this kind of upgrade could be the difference between another early exit and a legitimate Super Bowl contender. And it's not just about this season. The Steelers have a talented core, and with the right pieces, they can sustain success for years to come. A move like this would also send a strong signal to the rest of the league that Pittsburgh isn't just content to compete. They want to dominate. With young stars like Kenny Pickett developing and a defense that's hungry for more, this potential trade could be the catalyst for a new era of Steelers football, one that's built around elite defense, versatile playmakers, and a relentless winning attitude. Of course, we have to keep in mind that nothing is set in stone. The NFL trade deadline is always unpredictable, and teams weigh heavily on their draft picks and long-term plans. But based on everything we're hearing, it's clear that the Steelers are positioning themselves as serious contenders, and acquiring a talent like Patrick Surtain could be a game-changer. The AFC North is fiercely competitive, but with a shutdown corner of Surtain's caliber, Pittsburgh could tip the scales in their favor and continue their quest for another Super Bowl appearance. Fans should stay tuned and keep rooting for their team, because this season might just be the one where everything clicks into place. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. Do you think this trade could happen? Would Surtain be the perfect addition for Pittsburgh? Or are there other moves you'd like to see? Whatever you think, make sure to share it because your voice is what makes this community so special. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news. Let's keep the passion alive and continue supporting our team through every twist and turn of this exciting season. Here's to hoping that the Steelers make a bold move that propels them even closer to another Super Bowl run. Keep the faith, Steelers Nation.